Welcome class back to chapter 6. This is the second video of 3. We are going to cover the fourth or the fifth and sixth objectives in this video. So dictionary of similar objects and then looping through a dictionary. So looping through a dictionary, you can loop through all of a dictionary's key value pairs. You can loop through its keys, or you can simply loop through its values. So looping by key value pairs brings in both the key and the value. So we use our for structure, but first we have a dictionary called user_0. We have 3 keys: username, first and last, and a corresponding 3 values. So for key, comma, value, so key, name, username, and the value, and so on, in dictionary. And then here is our method that we're using to come through the key value pairs, and that is period items, okay, with parentheses at the end. Okay, so now we can use key, which happens to be this, and value, which happens to be this one. So items again returns a list of our key value pairs. So let's go ahead and look at favorite languages, or actually let's look at user first. So user.py is our first example, and that was the one that was on the slide. So these values here can be anything you want them to be, just like with our for structures that we had in the past. You could have for k value, you could have info and value. So whatever you put here is just what you use here. Now I have old syntax here, so let me go ahead and update this to be of f string. Okay, so for info, for value. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We get the same results. Let me go ahead and pull this up here a little bit so you can see this better. But again, if I just use k here and v, all I have to do is change this to k and this to v. So it doesn't matter what I name them. Okay? Of course, it does matter what the dictionary name is, and it does matter that you're using the items method. So let's look at favorite languages. So favorite languages on page 101. Hopefully I have that page number correct. Yes. So back to our example that we ended the first video in. So we have our 4 keys: Jen, Sarah, Edward, and Phil in their favorite language. We use a for structure to iterate through them. So for name, languages, in our dictionary favorite languages, and then using items. So we have a traceback error. So we have name language is not defined. So languages. There we go. Okay, so just make sure that whatever you're using here is corresponding in your print statements. Okay, so again, key, value, dictionary, items method. Again, note in the creation of the dictionary that we have a separation by a colon, and these are just separated in line by line. You can have these all in one line, but it's just easier to read in line by line. So that's looping by key value pairs. Using keys method is going to bring back just our keys. So if we were to think back to our very first lab that we ended the first video in, and that was 6-3, this would have been useful then, because then we wouldn't have had to print out our term in hard code. So for name in favorite languages is actually going to bring back these keys. If we were doing that with our terms, we could say for term in our glossary.keys, and then we could use that term in our output. Okay, so let's look at favorite languages on page 102 and 103. Okay, so we have a list called friends. And we have these friends, Phil and Sarah. It says for name, in favorite languages, keys. Okay, so we're looking for these key values, Jen, Sarah, Edward, and Phil. And then it says print their name in title format. If the name is in friends, okay, so if the name up here is in friends, we print an additional message. Okay, so let's go ahead and run. Actually, let me comment this for structure out. So we just get our output that we're looking at currently. So it says, hi Jen, hi Jen, hi Sarah. Now Sarah is also located in our list of friends. So if name is in friends, our list, okay, we take that language, we sort in language, and then it just says name. So Sarah, I see that you love the C language. Now Edward's not found in our friends list, but Phil is. Now we can further that by using a not statement. If Aaron not in favorite languages keys, print Aaron, please take our poll. Okay, so not in. So not in our dictionary. It's not one of our keys, and we can give some output. If we want to sort the order of our keys, we use the sorted method around our dictionary and the keys method. So let's go ahead and add this one in. I'm going to go ahead and comment all these out, so give me a little time here. Okay, so notice sorted just wrapped around our dictionary and keys. So parentheses starting here and a parentheses ending here. So Edward, Jen, Phil, and Sarah, same message. Thank you for taking our poll. So Edward being the first one in the alphabet in our list, then to Jen, then to Phil, and to Sarah. So in alphabetical order with sorted. Values method prints the value instead of the key. So that's the default. Okay, so we wouldn't have to do for language in favorite languages dot values. We could just do it the way that we learned it in the beginning, where we would say language comma or name comma, key comma value, or we can just leave values off here altogether. So let's go ahead and practice this one in a couple ways. So I wonder if I have a value one example. Here it is. So print the following languages have been mentioned. Okay, so I guess I misspoke here on this. Values is going to return, nope, I didn't misspeak. I'm thinking ahead. Okay, so values is going to return all of the values. So let's go ahead and comment this out so that we can just see what the values are. So the following languages: Python, C, Ruby, Python. Now, if we didn't want Python repeated, that's when we would enter in what I was just thinking about, and that is set. So if we don't want our duplicates repeated, we wrap set around, and now we don't see. Now we see that Python is not repeated. So that's where my mind was jumping ahead to. And there it is, the set method. So ending this section, we're going to look at 6-4, Glossary 2. Now we know how to loop through a dictionary. We have the beyond the items, we now have key, we have values, we have sorted, we have set. We have a lot we can do now. So you're going to clean up the code from 6-3 on page 99 by replacing your series of print calls with a loop that runs through the dictionary keys and values. When you're sure that your loop works, add 5 more Python terms to your glossary. When you run your program again, these new words and meanings should automatically be included in the output. So adding 5 more, meaning how we added when we were talking about in the first video, where we added new keys and their corresponding values. So don't go up into the original dictionary and add 5 more terms. Add them as individual statements using key and value. Okay. I think that's everything for 6-4. 6-5, making a dictionary containing 3 major rivers in the country each river runs through. So one key value pair might be the Nile, and that runs through Egypt. Use a loop to print a sentence about each river, such as the Nile runs through Egypt. Use a loop to print the name of each river included in the dictionary. And use a loop to print the name of each country included in the dictionary. So the loop to print the name is going to use keys. The loop to print the country is going to use values. Okay, and you're welcome to throw set in there if you have some duplicate values as well. You're welcome to throw sorted in there and play around with sorted if you want to sort your keys or even sort your values. Okay, so those are the 2 labs for this particular section. And again, if you have questions, please let me know.